Welcome to Spoken Love Podcast, where words don't just tell stories, they breathe them. Here we strip love and life down to the bone, unfolding our truths in rhythm and rhyme, through dialogue that's part poetry, part confession, and all real. So lean in, let the silence between the verses speak, and join me for a conversation wrapped in poetry. This is Spoken Love Podcast. Hey boo, welcome to the Spoken Love Podcast, where love, life, and lessons are spoken out loud. I'm your host, Nellie Michelle, and I'm so glad you're here for the very first episode of the season. Today we're diving into something we've all felt but don't always put into words: how love evolves over time. What we needed back then isn't always what we need now, and when love grows with us, it just hits different. So to start off our episode, I want to start by reflecting on a poem that captures this perfectly. It's a poem I wrote a couple months ago, actually, and I call it Woke Up in the 90s. Woke up with that dream still stuck in my mind. Back in them days when love was soft and unrefined. High top fades and love notes folded neat. We was young, but the way you touched my spirit ran deep. You pulled up in that dream like you never left. Starter jacket, Walkman, bumping Boys to Men, I'll make love to you. I was sitting on the porch, twisting my curls. You walked up like I was your whole damn world. You said, "What's up, girl?" And I giggled low, feeling like Moesha with a front row soul. We ain't even have much, but love was enough. A payphone call and your touch was my stuff. I remember you held my hand like it meant something. Eyes saying more than the words ever coming. We slow danced in sneakers, no music, just feeling. That kind of teenage love had my whole heart healing. Then I woke up, heartbeat to the baseline, still smelling your cologne in the sunshine. That dream was a rewind, a soft little tease of the 90s, of you, and what love used to be. Oh man, there's something so fresh and so innocent about young love. If I could do a brief story time, so as I reflect back on my young love experience, there's one that really stands out. This gentleman, somebody's son. Basically, it was my first experience with love ever. Can y'all believe that? Ever. I was in high school. I can't remember. It's probably either freshman or sophomore year. And a mutual friend of ours approached me and was like, "Yo, da. A boy wants to talk to you. He feeling you, blah, blah, blah." And anybody that knows me in high school, I was so timid. I was so insecure. I was like this little chocolate girl, barely even 90 pounds in weight, long hair, just kind of minding my business. I was more of like a bookworm than anything. I was focused on my schoolwork. I wasn't even, I remember having crushes and stuff, but I don't remember like really being into boys like that. And all the other girls, all the popular girls, had their boyfriends. And I was cool with everybody. I wasn't like an outcast or anything. I was cool with all different friend groups. But it blew my world when I found out one of the most popular guys in school was checking for me. And I'm like, you take that pause like, nah, this dude can't be. Like, what is this? Is this a prank? But turned out he really was, feeling me and everything. And one thing led to another, and I guess we was boyfriend and girlfriend. Back then, it wasn't like no formal process. It was like, you my girl, and I'm like, yeah, next day you carrying my books. Like, it was that simple. There was not a whole lot of, you didn't have to court people or pursue people or try to figure people out. It was you mine. And that was the seal of approval. I was so smitten by this young man. Again, he was my first. But he was starting, I don't even remember what position he played on the football team, but he was popular. He was popular around town. He played football, whatever the case may be. If we fast forward, I was a virgin. So, spoiler alert, I was a virgin. So he took my virginity, which also intensified the love connection because, again, I did not know, I did not experience love or lust in any capacity before I met him. So when I experienced all of these different milestones, all of these, you know, emotional connections with this boy, this young boy, it was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing better than this feeling ever. And I think we ended up, you can't really put a timeline on young love because I feel like every other week we was breaking up. It was always drama. It was always something. But, one thing led to another. We broke up. We went our separate ways and life went on. But I say all of that to say young love is so intense and so impactful because you'll never forget your first love. That kind of love was unpolished and innocent and essentially unforgettable. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it though, like really sit back. Back then, love was so much lighter. It was just airy and carefree. We didn't have bills or mortgages or life-altering responsibilities attached to it. It was curiosity and discovery. We was just out here in our feelings trying to figure it out. And what mattered most wasn't really the grand gestures, it was the small things. Just showing up was enough. Little spurts of small attention, like a phone call from a payphone or a note passed in class. You know what I'm saying? Remember them notes? You gonna be my girlfriend or you gonna be my boyfriend, yes or no? So simple. And it meant everything. Like that could make your whole day, your whole week off of such a small gesture. Love didn't come with heavy expectations. It just kind of flowed. You know what I'm saying? When you like somebody and they liked you back, it was just magnetic. And when I think about those days, I realize how powerful the small things really, really were. Yeah. But as we've grown, so have our standards, right? Gone are the days of the innocent love of the past, right? When we were carefree. Today, love really looks different. Love for me at 17, 18, 19, and how it was in my 20s, 30s, and now I'm in early 40s. Very, very different. Much more complex, much more challenging. We need more than just presence. We need presence with depth, right? Emotional maturity. You hear the terminology and the coin phrase that everybody's using now, emotional intelligence. We crave conversations that go beyond just, hey, what's up? We want someone who shows up emotionally, not just physically. There's the accountability factor. Now, love demands consistency and honesty. Right? When you really, really think about it, there's a element of responsibility to love now. And that puts a lot of pressure. I don't feel like we can build anything lasting without a sense of responsibility when it comes to love and relationships. There's a deeper sense of intimacy, right? When you think about, are you loving for the sense of just the feeling, or are you looking for a lifetime partnership? It's no longer just about the butterflies that you feel, and it's about alignment and shared values and shared purpose and building something that stands the test of time. That's what love looks like as you transform into adulthood and maturity. That's why love feels heavier sometimes almost, because it's also more rewarding when it's real. Coming full circle though, if we were to bridge the two, Still, there's beauty in the past. Young love reminds us how to be vulnerable, how to enjoy simple moments, how to feel excited without overthinking. I tend to be very much an overthinker. That's attributed to my anxious attachment style, but that's another episode. But the key to blending that innocence with the maturity we carry now is holding on to the simplicity, but not losing the depth of what love has to offer. So here's a question for you. What part of your past love do you wish you could carry into your grown love today? As you ponder on that question, here's a few takeaways. The truth is, then love was about butterflies, discovery, and being seen. And now love is about accountability, alignment, and building foundations. And that's okay, because love evolves as we evolve. And that's what makes grown love so different and so absolutely necessary. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of the Spoken Love podcast. If this conversation made you reflect on your own love, past or present, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. Please, please, please leave a review and share this with someone who knows exactly what I mean when I say, love may not look like it did back then, but when it's grown, it just hits different. Until next time, keep speaking love. And just like that, another chapter closes. But the story of love and life never really ends. If these words moved you, share them, carry them, and live them out loud. Follow Spoken Love Podcast wherever you listen, and meet me here again where the dialogue stays candid and the poetry stays alive.